Wasteland Reaper says, love your content. What's a simple yet effective way of organizing Lego? I chose color. It makes a lot of sense to me. There is one I wanted to answer here. Vickie Bligh. Vickie Bligh says, thank you, Adam, Kristen, and all of Tested for keeping this community connected as well as entertained. Do you see your entertainment skills as stemming from the maker side of you, or did they emerge separately? Allie, I opened this question up last night and I typed some of my response. So I'm gonna read it. God, when I'm typing at night, I don't backspace to correct, so sometimes it can be hard to read. Here's what I wrote. Like a lot of lonely kids, I sought the stage as part of dealing with my social anxiety. I truly found acceptance there in every way that is meaningful. I found a kind cadre of self-identified misfits. And some of those kids in the drama club were hugely popular and deeply attractive, which I was not. And none of that mattered. In the drama club, we were all just people. And I flourished in that environment. And I flourished in everything to do with theater. I was also raised by a father who painted, who made stuff, who built stuff in our house, repaired stuff in our place, a grandfather who built the summer house I grew up going to with his hands in the 1940s. My grandfather was also a surgeon. I was raised with the awareness that things get built by people who take the time to gather expertise to bring something into being. And in both places, in theater and in making, I had a lot of wonderful priming of my young mind. Priming, I just want to tell that expression that everyone knows it. Like you prime a pump by putting a little water so it knows what to grab. You can prime it, yeah. So this primed the pump of this young brain. And it felt important to me, like, to talk about my entertainment and theater and public speaking skills, my comm skills, to point out that I was definitely, as a young person, a bit much. I had and have a marvelous friend group, but I was also the kind of person you might have said, if you knew me in my early 20s, no, he's great, he's a little much. That was definitely me. I was that way until my 40s. So I moved to San Francisco in 1990, and I found my home here. I've never looked back. This is my home. This is where I was meant to be. This is where I belong. And in the intervening 35 years since I left New York, there's definitely been a part of me that has not thought extremely kindly on the young version of me, the selfish 18 to 22-year-old Adam bouncing around Brooklyn and Hell's Kitchen in the East Village. The one just like not paying attention, yeah. I didn't think too kindly on that person. Lack of focus. I made a lot of mistakes, like we all do, and I was not proud of them. But a couple of years ago, I'll come back to a point, I promise, Vickie. A couple of years ago, I went and did a J-term class at NYU with my friend Ellen Horn, and it was an occasion to spend almost a month living in Manhattan. And in the 35 years I've been here, I have only ever gone back for a week or maybe 10 days at the most. So this was a highly concentrated piece of time. And I was there and I started listening. I'm riding around Manhattan on my one wheel, and I passed Houston Street and I passed Laurie Anderson's old apartment. I don't know if she still lives there. But like, I was obsessed with Laurie Anderson when I was 19, 20 years old. I listened to United States endlessly. Oh, Superman, William Burroughs reading Sharky's Day. Holy crap. All that stuff is so primordial to me. And I saw her apartment on Houston, and I put it on my headphones and started listening to Laurie Anderson. And I remembered that kid in Brooklyn. And it made me it made me realize that that young version of me was laying a lot of groundwork for me later, the quiet parts of my existence. So I then, in the entertainment side, I went and auditioned for commercials in New York City for 5 full years, from age 16 to age 21. I was auditioning all the time, and I didn't get a ton of stuff. Maybe 7 commercials, only one of which that aired significantly. And then I go to San Francisco and I get work in theater, and The Maker comes out. The Maker gets fomented and learns some skills. And these are definitely 2 halves of my personality, the comms and the making. And they dovetail. The great grace that I think of in my past is that Mythbusters arrived and had a forum for both the maker and the entertainer. The performing side and the maker side find this marvelous common plane. And I'm still playing in that plane. I'm delighted. I'm delighted to do that. Okay, J. Dellarosa says, any advice on being a generalist in a world where self-branding and specialization seems to be the currency? How have you managed to, being someone who has pulled in so many different creative directions? Has it ever created indecision or difficulty? Yes. Have you ever felt like you needed to focus more in one area only to feel bored after some time? Sure. Your question, I want to just look at your question for a second structurally. Any advice for being a generalist in a world where self-branding and specialization seems to be the currency? In this sentence, you are placing generalism as an approach to making, like that I have. You're placing it at odds with a specialization self-branding culture. And I'm not sure that they are at odds. So let me explain. I think that when it comes to, look, it's all about a point of view. That's all that it is. It's not about how you get there. It's not about how you get to the point of view. The thing to brand, the thing to promote, the thing to talk about is your unique point of view. It doesn't matter if you have, what I am finding within the framework of my life right now is that it does not, that the actual things that I execute aren't nearly as important as the through line of this whole community that we are building and playing within. It's like a great sandbox. So I know, and when you say generalist, you might mean like, I'm sort of interested in some theater, I'm interested in some music, I'm interested in Regency era cosplay, right? There could be a million different things you're totally fascinated by. But they have a unifier in you. And if your work is going to have meaning in the world, you are the one who's going to promote it. I mean, that sounds like this ridiculous thing to say because it's totally obvious. But I guess I want to say, don't worry about being a generalist. That would be my main advice. Don't worry about it. That's immaterial. Not worry, but notice the common lines between the things you're interested in. I'm still being fascinated by what I'm learning from the things I'm fascinated by. There is an idea that creative people like think up something in their head and they write it down and they put it up. And the answer is more like we're all swimming around in a soup and like grasping at straws, and occasionally we can pull those straws together and show each other a vision of the reality that we see. And that's our point of view. That's the point of view. That's your special purpose. That's the thing that you have that's interesting. And anytime a person really reveals their deep point of view on the world from their perspective, it's always fascinating. Always, when it comes from that real place of truth. Honestly, yes. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about tested membership. The tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from tested and from YouTube. The tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. For everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.